से पूरे इंडिया से लोग इस वक्त अपने गैजेट्स पर हैं इस N21 कनेक्ट प्लस के लिए, जिसे हम कहते हैं कन्वेंशन। कुछ लोग इंडिया से बाहर हैं, लेकिन इस N21 ऐप के जरिए वो इस इवेंट को अटेंड कर रहे हैं और ये वो एक ब्यूटीफुल इवेंट है जो हम सबको एक साथ लाया है फिर से एक बार। आज का दिन बहुत ही बढ़िया होने वाला है, हम बहुत कुछ सीखने वाले हैं। हमारे पास एक बहुत ही बड़े स्पीकर है जो अमेरिका से हमसे बात करेंगे। हमारे पास बहुत सारी रिकॉग्निशंस है और हमारे पास 2 जबरदस्त पैनल हैं। तो आज का दिन हम बहुत कुछ सीखने वाले हैं, लेकिन how much you learn, how much you grasp, how much you soak in is going to depend on a couple of factors. आप कब सीखते हैं? आप उस वक्त सबसे ज्यादा सीखते हैं जब आप उत्साहित हैं। So are you excited? आप सबसे ज्यादा कब सीखते हैं? जब आप ध्यान देते हैं। So are you willing to pay attention and keep distractions aside? जो चीजें से आपका ध्यान भटकता है उन्हें साइड रख दीजिए और अगले कुछ घंटे तक ध्यान से यहां पर बैठिए, क्योंकि आप इस मीटिंग का पूरा फायदा उठाना चाहते हैं। So before we move ahead, one more thing. You learn the most when you are excited. So I want you, listen to me, I want you to give a nice round of applause to yourself. I want you to stand up and give a nice round of applause to yourself. Welcome yourself, welcome your team members and be on this session. Number 2, don't think लोग क्या सोचेंगे, पड़ोसी क्या सोचेंगे। You need to participate, क्योंकि अगर आप पार्टिसिपेट करोगे तो आप सीखोगे। Second, I want you to give a nice round of applause. Stand up in your place. Stand up. Everybody stand up and give a nice round of applause to your upline diamond, to Network 21, and welcome them from your houses. Welcome them into your heart. All right. So now let's move ahead. I am really excited and honored to introduce this gentleman. He's been in this business for over 50 years. 50 साल से ज्यादा उनको हो चुके हैं इस बिजनेस में। ये व्यवसाय उन्होंने शुरू किया था जब उनकी उम्र 23 साल की थी और उनकी पत्नी की उम्र सिर्फ 19 वर्ष की थी। वो एमवे के बारे में सुन चुके थे, लेकिन वो खुद किसी स्पॉन्सर को ढूंढ रहे थे और फिर उन्होंने इस व्यवसाय को शुरू किया अपनी गाड़ी की बूट से। गाड़ी में वो बिजनेस करते थे, उनकी गाड़ी ही उनका ऑफिस था। धीरे धीरे उन्होंने एक बहुत बड़ा व्यवसाय बनाया और आज पूरे विश्व में उनका व्यवसाय फैला हुआ है और पूरे विश्व में हर एक देश में जहां पर ये बिजनेस चलता है वहां पर वो लोगों को इम्पैक्ट करते हैं, लोगों के जीवन को परिवर्तित करते हैं। वो कहते हैं कि हम अपना जीवन किसी के साथ भी ट्रेड नहीं करना चाहेंगे। दे हैव अ फैंटास्टिक लाइफस्टाइल। जब उनका मन करता है कि समुद्र किनारे जाने का तो वो अपने समुद्र किनारे के घर पे चले जाते हैं, टू द बीच हाउस, और दे जस्ट टेक अ ट्रिप टू यूरोप और ऑस्ट्रेलिया। हाल ही में वो ऑस्ट्रेलिया घूम कर आए जहां पर डॉल्फिन्स के साथ स्विमिंग की और बैरियर रीफ घूम के आए अपने परिवार सहित। So guys, let's stand up, give a loud round of applause and help me welcome on this digital platform for this convention, all the way from USA, Crown Ambassador Bob Andrews. It is an absolute pleasure to be with you today to talk to you about some things I think will help you move forward in your business. You know, Terry and I now have owned our Amway business for over 50 years. Can you believe that?
And more than 40 of those years, we've been diamonds attending Diamond Club. We've also served on the Independent Business Owners Association board for nearly half of those 50 years. So our experience in business is broad. We've seen a lot, and we know a lot. So I'm glad I can be here with you, if not in person, at least virtually, to share some of those things with you today. I want to talk to you about thinking. Thinking. You know, it's something we all do, but some of us do it better than others. When we think about thinking, usually people move to something like their intelligence quotient, their IQ, or their ability to solve problems. Well, intellectual intelligence is good, and it is important, and it does have something to do with people moving forward. But I can tell you, after all of these years of experience, I have never seen anyone fail at the business or succeed at the business because their business was real high or real low. If you understand SA8 and LOC and Neutralite and a few things like that, if you can make a presentation and show people, you can build a business. So I believe that thinking on an intellectual level is not what we're thinking for. But there are three kinds of thinking that I want to discuss with you today that will make the difference. I want to talk to you about attitude. I'd like to talk to you about your outlook, and I would like to talk to you about your mindset. I have learned a lot during the pandemic, a lot. And I've learned a lot about my attitude and about other people's attitudes. I have noticed that Terry and I haven't even slowed down. We have seen great things going on. The organization is growing. We're excited. And I had to ask myself the question, why are we so fired up and why have other people slowed down? I'll tell you the reason. Because for 50 years, we've been putting good, positive information into our brain. When we started our business 50 years ago, one of the first things our sponsor did was loaned us some tapes, 7 of these, and said, listen to each one 7 times. One of these tapes was on attitude, the key to success, and we listened to it over and over and over again. We began to read books like The Magic of Thinking Big, and we didn't just read it, and we didn't just listen to it. We made these concepts and these ideas part of our life. Other books, like the famous one by Frank Betcher, How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling, written in 1949, but a great book. We listened to literally hundreds, let me say thousands of cassette tapes, not only from the Amway business, but from other businesses, real estate businesses, insurance businesses, chiropractic conventions, just to learn about motivating people and helping people. And then we got to CDs, and we devoured CDs. We would listen and listen and listen and listen, and now it's streaming audio, and we continue to listen. But the reason we listened so much was because we knew that listening and growing and attitude was an investment in our future. An investment not only in our generation, but in the generation to come. Let me show you this. A lot of people are like sponges. When they're in a squeeze, what's inside them comes out. What's inside them comes out. Here's what's happened during the pandemic and with people, thank you, I'll get cleaned up now, with a lot of people. There are a lot of people who really haven't worked on their attitudes. They have read books, they have listened to audios, they've gone to meetings, and they've been excited, but they haven't changed. And when you don't change, then what's inside you comes out, just like the sponge. And we've seen a lot of people who never developed a great attitude. Oh, I want to show you one more thing. Back in the early days, we would actually buy 16 millimeter films like this. And we would watch these and we would show these, and they cost $500 and $600 a piece back in the early 70s. But we were willing to invest and continue to invest in ourselves. Some people watch these 10 times and they changed. Terry and I watched them hundreds of times, and they became who we were. So when hardship comes, when people get discouraged, the people with the best attitudes, what's inside them comes out also. And what's inside them is a lot of joy and a lot of focus on the future. So let's talk for just a few minutes then about attitude and what attitude means. You've heard the expression, attitude is everything, right? You've heard that. May I tell you, I'm not sure that's correct. I know we've said it. I've said it. You've probably heard an audio by Bob Andrews, attitude is everything. Your Dimond has probably said it. I'm not saying your Dimond is wrong. I'm just saying I'm not sure attitude is everything. Maybe we need to reverse those words and say everything is attitude. Because the more I see and the more I learn, I see that everything is attitude. You want to have a successful marriage? Everything is attitude. You want to have kids that love their parents and do good and help people? Everything is attitude. You want to live in a community that loves each other, and everything is attitude. Everything is attitude. And considering that, I want you to know that attitude is like gravity. You can't see it, you can't touch it, you can feel it, but the effects of gravity, the effects of attitude are obvious and absolutely undeniable. You see, the reaction to the moment is our attitude. That's what attitude is. I hit my toe and I say, ow! And I've got an attitude about that. Everybody has an attitude about everything. You've got an attitude already about this video. You've got attitude about the conference you're in. Everyone has an attitude, but it's momentarily. We all have negative attitudes, and we all have positive attitudes. Here's the difference. Some people get stuck in the negative attitude. The negative attitude that lasts a moment now lasts a day. Now last a week, now last a year. And their attitudes frame their very being. Their attitudes become who they are. So the secret to attitude success is not to say never be negative. You're going to be negative sometime. You're going to be positive sometime. So the secret to attitude success is your recovery rate. How quickly, after a negative attitude, can you get back up and get positive again? If you lead people and you have a negative attitude, every negative attitude minute costs you a day of leadership. You can't afford to be negative. You're either going to be positive, you're going to be negative, or you might be ambivalent, which just means you don't care. And no leader would ever say, I don't care. Attitude is my opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Some people in the room today think the room is too warm. Other people think the room is too hot. Some people have an opinion about a movie. Some people like it. Some people don't like it. People have opinion about music. Some like this kind of music. Some like this kind of music. Those are attitudes. Everybody can have their own attitude about things that do not make a difference to the people you lead. Everyone at some time has a positive attitude and at some time has a negative attitude. And the quality of that attitude, remember what I said, the quality of that attitude will depend on the recovery time. And so when you have an attitude attack, when your attitude, you feel it going downhill, recover quickly and you'll be okay. I like these 3 points, and I could talk for an hour about these, but I will not. Listen to this. Your attitude will either propel you, or it will perplex you, or it will paralyze you. And during the pandemic, I have seen all of that. I have seen some people who look around them and say, this is a great time to grow, and their attitudes propel them. Other people have said, boy, things are different. I can't go into people's homes, and I can't do this, and I can't do that, and they've been perplexed or confused, and other people have been completely paralyzed. They haven't known what to do, and when their upline said, well, here's what we'll do, they didn't come along just because they thought they were smarter than their upline. Be careful for that. So the first form of thinking I would suggest to you today is attitude. And we work on these books and we work on these audios and we come to the meetings to improve our attitude so that our momentary negative does not become long-term. Let's think for a moment about our outlook. I've talked to you about this before. You may have an audio in your collection that has to do with expectations or optimism. I'm a big believer in the power of optimism. And expectations or your outlook comes in two forms. There's either pessimism or there's optimism. And there's not too many options to that. So your outlook is how you visualize the future. It's your vision for the future. Can you have a good attitude and low expectations? Yes, you can, and some people do. Can you have negative attitudes and high expectations? Usually not. But if you have a positive attitude and a quick recovery time and a vision for the future that is set above on higher things, then great things will happen for you. You know, the pessimist is always right. Did you hear me? The pessimist is always right because they say things like, it won't work. And if something does work, then they will say, it won't last. And if it does last, then they will say, well, it's too late for me. And if that's proved to be not true, they will say, well, you were just lucky. So it's not risky to be a pessimist. If you will be down on everything, don't believe anything will work, think that's a bad idea, that's a bad idea, that's a bad idea, you will always be right, but you will never succeed. But the optimists, on the other hand, risk being wrong. They put their mind out there, they put their words out there, they put themselves out there, and they take a chance on being wrong. They say things like, we can do it. Well, does that mean everybody's going to do it? No. But it does mean their vision for everybody is that we can do it. They say things like, this is our year. And they say, there is always a way. And maybe you've listened to that audio. Or they might say, nothing can stop us. Now, when I say nothing can stop us, and I'm thinking about everyone that's gathered in that great hall today, and you watching this video, nothing can stop us. Well, some of you in the room, something will stop you. Does that mean I should be a pessimist? Of course not. The fact is, nothing can stop us when we do the right things. So optimism is very, very strong. And your vision for the future, your attitude and your optimism, your vision for the future will take you wherever you want to go. So the optimist chooses their own future and then figures out a way to overcome the obstacles. Some people think, well, I'm an optimist and I still have problems. I didn't say optimism will destroy your problems. But when you have a vision for the future, when you see your future out there, when you are determined to do that, then when you see an obstacle, it's just a mere challenge that you face and overcome. It's like if you and your family got in the car to take a trip, and you were going to another place, to a nice resort, and the children were excited, and there's swimming, and there's horseback riding, and there's all the great things that you love to do as a family. You're going to make a memory. And you get in the car and you start driving, and you get about 20 kilometers from home, and you have a flat tire. What are you going to do? Okay, children, we're not going because we had a flat tire. Is that what a good dad does? Of course not. You get out of the car, you jack up the car, you get a new tire, and you make it a party. You say, yay, we got rid of that tire. We're going, and you make it a party. See, the optimist turns every challenge into a good time. They say that will make a better story about we were going to the resort and we had a flat tire and we pulled over on the side of the road and we got the tire. You see? So the challenges you face, instead of becoming things that keep you from reaching your destination, they become part of your story. Optimism is the fuel of persistency. People that know their destination use optimism as the gas in the tank of the vehicle that will get them to their dreams. When you know where you're going, and when you know you're going to win, why would you ever give up? You wouldn't. If you know you're going to win, you just know, okay, I'm not winning today, but I'm going to win. So you would never give up. It's powerful. And then, of course, you've heard me talk about the power of massive success, and it would require hallucinogenic optimism. Hallucinogenic optimism. I'll give the translators a moment. I know that's not a word that we use often. Here's what I mean by that. I mean that to do the impossible, you must see the invisible. To do the impossible, you must see the invisible. If you're an optimist with a great attitude, don't be surprised if people around you do not buy into your dream. Don't be shocked when you tell them, we're going platinum, or we're going sapphire, emerald, or diamond. Don't be surprised when you make that announcement if a lot of people say, yay, but inside they're saying never. They will never do it. Listen, to do the impossible, you must see the invisible. And people that don't see your dream, it doesn't mean that you won't reach your dream. It just means that they won't reach that dream. So it's so important when you have a dream and when you visualize your future that you hold it tight in your heart, that you share it with the people you love. If you're building as a husband and wife or as a family, you share it inside that family. You share it with your upline. And then show actions in the direction of your dream. If you have an action, if you have a dream but have no action, then people look at you and say, what dream? No action, right? Do not, and I heard this recently on an audio, do not trust your emotion if you're not in motion. Emotions are feelings we have, but if you're not working, if you're not creating action, then you might think things that will never become reality. So we talked about attitude. Attitude is that momentary feeling that is sometimes positive and sometimes negative, and we recover quickly and we stay on a positive track. And then there's outlook. That's our long-term vision. That's our feeling for the future. But number 3 that is sometimes overlooked is our mindset. And our mindset is a decision. It's a simple decision that we make, that my mind is set on these things. Mindset is different than closed-minded. Closed-minded means you're not open to a different idea. And I will admit to you, there are many things about which I am closed-minded. My mind is made up about some things. Many of those things have to do with my spirituality, my family. I'm not open to alternatives. Those are the things that I believe in. I'm closed-minded to that. I am closed-minded. But a mindset is not that you are not open to new ideas. It's just that you have set down some concepts in your mind, in your heart, in your willingness. These are mindsets. They are deeply held beliefs. They are convictions. I hope that word translates well for you. In English, the word conviction is a strong word. That means my belief is so strong. My belief is so deep. My belief is so all about me and my future. I will not give it up. That's a mindset. It's a fixed state of mind. Your mindset is immovable, and your mindset is your disposition or your temperament. During the pandemic, I discovered that some people that I know, and quite frankly, people that I love, had good attitudes. They had high expectations, but they had weak mindsets. When things got very, very difficult, instead of saying, no, I'm not changing, those people began to change their willingness. They changed their determination. They weren't convicted. They had belief, but it was wavering belief. Give you some examples. Here's an example of mindset. I will win. That's a mindset. I will win. Not I will try, or we'll see what happens, or if things go right, I will win. Things won't go right. You can't have a mindset that says, if everything's perfect, I will win. No, when you say, I will win, that's your mindset. That takes into consideration there are going to be problems I will overcome. There will be obstacles that I will have to understand. There will be difficulties that I haven't perceived presently that I will have to face in the future. I will win. I will have to grow to win. That's part of the mindset. I will have to change to win. That's part of the concept. But not I will try, and if everything goes right, I will win. Do you see the difference between a mindset that is convicted and determined and one that's weak? I think you do. Let me give you another example. I will encourage others. I will be an encourager. That here and there, that person, friends, enemies, upline, downline, crossline, I will be an encourager. I will be an encourager if you are on stage talking. I will look at you and I will smile. We recently had a local convention. It was a very good one, by the way. Everybody together in one place, and it was just wonderful. And a lot of smiles in the audience. I was on stage a lot because I had a lot of information that I needed to share. And I noticed in the audience, there were some people in the audience that were purposefully encouraging me. They were encouraging me with their eyes. They were encouraging me with their smiles. They were encouraging me with their body language. They were encouraging me with their hands. They were just encouraging me. Bob, go. Bob, tell us. Bob, help us. They were encouraging me. I want you to know, also in that same audience, there were people whose body language was like this. Their face was like this. If I did turn and make eye contact with them, they put their head down. They were not encouraging me. Why was that? Why was that? I will tell you this. They didn't have a mindset that said, I'm an encourager. I will win. Now, I can't judge them. They may have great attitudes, but I can tell you from my experience, they did not have a mindset of, I will encourage others. When we get all about ourselves, when we're all about how people feel about me instead of how I feel about other people, then our mindset becomes weak. Here's another example. I will not complain or criticize. It's a mindset. Is everything right all the time? Of course not. Nothing is right all the time. Not even you are right all of the time. And I'm certainly not right all the time. But to complain and to criticize, how does that encourage and how does that help? When I see something is not right, then I can help fix it. I can help with actions. I can help with attitudes. But to be the one that sees something is wrong and then go over and tell this person and then go tell that person or complain to this one or complain to that one, that is discouraging other people. So if our mindset is, I will not complain and I will not criticize, period, then we have a mindset for success. But the person with a weak mindset might say this, well, I won't complain or criticize unless somebody does something dumb. Then if they do something that's not good, then I'll complain or criticize. Listen, if that's the way we feel, if that's our mindset, then we're going to always find a reason for lack of success. I would have succeeded except they didn't have that meeting. I would have succeeded except the CEP didn't arrive at my house. I would have succeeded except my upline does not have a good future, a good vision for the future. I would have succeeded except, and you could go on and on and on. John Maxwell said, it's easier to go from failure to success than it is from excuses to success. If you ever find yourself making an excuse, whether it's whatever it is, I won't try to catalog all of those for you, but if you find yourself making an excuse, then you're a long way from success. Failure to success, John Maxwell says, is easier than excuses to success. The mindset says this, I will only speak positively. Is everything always positive in my life? No. But why should I tell you? I will only speak positively. In the room, we have sound technicians and light technicians doing a beautiful job here with the cameras and with all of these things. Excuse me. So I can concentrate on what I'm telling you. They're doing a great job. After this, are they going to say, Bob, you made this mistake, and Bob, you made that mistake? Of course not. And if they did something wrong, and I doubt they did because they're professionals, but if they did, would I say, you did this wrong and you did that wrong? Of course not. How does discouraging someone else help me? And how does criticizing someone else help them? Now, when this is all over and I view this video, I might say something like this, you know, excellent job, guys. I appreciate you so much. You're very good at what you do. Next time, I'd like to try this and this, and let's just see if that makes a difference at all, okay? So without criticizing, we can find a way to get improvement. Criticism does not create improvement. Complaining does not create improvement. Are we looking to be validated, or are we looking to grow? The winner, the person with the right thinking, is looking to grow. Here's another mindset. I will focus on solutions. In North America right now, the Amway business is going through many changes, and I think around the world as well, from what I know and have heard. And I am at the forefront of seeing those changes and being able to help the company change some of the changes, make them a little bit better, make them a little bit easier for IBOs, etc. But some people have a real difficulty with changes. Once a change is inevitable, once you know that this change is here, this change is happening, I've done all I could to adjust the change to be best, but now it's here. Now we need to go into solution mode. And so the person with the right mindset, that optimist, will immediately go into solution mode. Okay, here is the new reality. I get it. Here is the new reality. Now, team, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this and this and this and this. And we come up with different fun ways of concluding what we started, which is winning. And so the mindset is always solution-oriented. It doesn't take a high intellect to find the problems. Anybody can find the problems. You can look at that car and say, hey, that car has a flat tire. Okay, well, thanks for sharing. Do you think that the rest of us couldn't see that that car had a flat tire? The tire is flat. See it? It's flat. Okay. Thanks for identifying the problem. You don't get any award for that, right? You don't get an award for recognizing the problem. The award goes to the person that says, I see that tire is flat. Do you have a spare? You don't? Okay, I have one. Let's put mine on. You have a jack? Yeah, okay, I have one. Let's do this and this and this. Now, there is a service station just down the road. Let's take your old tire. We'll get it repaired so it can go back in your trunk. And do you see? That person is full of solutions. That's the mindset. If you dwell too long on the problem, then the problem will become your attitude, the problem will become your outlook, and the problem will become your mindset. And you can go to thousands of meetings, you can listen to thousands of audios, you can read thousands of books, and you will never grow, because thinking is the key ingredient to success. One final one. I will never give up. I will never give up. I'm not saying that about me, although that is my mindset. But I'm saying that is the mindset of a person who's going to build a big business. I will never give up. Now, that sets a level, right? I will never give up. That means I will never give up. You can't misunderstand that. It's not, I will